All right, everybody. So today we'll be making steak and shrimp scampi pasta. So one thing I like to do is have all your tools ready. We got our strainer there. We have our container for the leftovers. All right, so got my container there for when we have any leftovers. Like to have that ready ahead of time. Got our strainer, our spoon for the shrimp, our seasoning. We got some onion for flavor, cutting board. We got our steak there, filet mignon. We have our shrimp. Now I'm already heating up the shrimp. Our shrimp comes frozen. So one thing I like to do is I like to cook it, and when the condensation comes out, I like to pour it out so I can start cooking it with the butter. We have here our vegetables, which we'll be adding with the onion and the tomato, broccoli, and we got our water. So one thing is make sure in your water you add your avocado oil, and make sure you salt your water while you're cooking. And we got our, we're gonna be using the fettuccine pasta on this one, and the creamy basil Alfredo sauce. So normally I like to cook the water on high. Got that there on high. And we got this for the noodles. Cook our vegetables between medium and low. Obviously the steak, you want to cook it on low. So we got that cooking on low, and then we got the shrimp back there, which we're gonna strain the water out in a little bit. So we have avocado oil in the steak, in the vegetables, and in the water. So now we're gonna add the onion to the broccoli, because that does take a while to cook as well. You cut it up, you just toss it in there, but if you wanna distribute the onion, cut it up, you dice it. And you know that'll take a while to cook as well. The tomato though will actually cook faster, so that's gonna go at the end. Most likely probably not gonna cook it with the vegetables, it's gonna add it to when the sauce is cooking. So this here already has avocado oil. Add this in there. I'll bring it up to medium. So everything right now is cooking. Now what I mean with the shrimp is that I have that condensation in there from water. So we're gonna drain the water out. Drain this out. There we go. All right. Now shrimp that's already cooked heats up pretty quick. So for now we're gonna turn this off because we're gonna cut the tails off so we're not eating the poop. All right, so for the time being, I'm gonna cut that tomato while we wait for everything else while it's cooking. I'm not gonna put into the food just yet. We're gonna separate it. I think one tomato is enough for the pasta. There's a tomato here. we'll place it into the container. Have that ready for when we're gonna add it to the sauce. Okay, so now we're gonna cut the tail off the shrimp. For now we got everything else cooking, so let's season our steak. Gonna use Dash. Nothing fancy. Let me get anywhere. Add some garlic salt. Like I mentioned, make sure that your water is salted as well. Now here we're using sea salt. Let's get the tail off the shrimp. We'll do a few right now. As you can see, we got our tomato on the side. Got our shrimp. You want to get, usually some of them have a line of poop. You want to cut that off, unless you want to eat it. Completely up to you. Once you cut it off, you just toss it back into the pan. So as you can see, we're tossing them back in the pan, getting ready to butter them up once we get these all done right here. As we can see, our water is already boiling. Move the broccoli on a little bit. Now I personally like to break this before I toss it into the pan. Here, it's now broken in 3 parts. I'm going to lower it a little bit to medium. All fits in the pan. Go by the time, I like to go by the house 1:13. So set that timer right there. So let's put it in here. I like to mix it up a little bit. Now the reason for the avocado oil and the salt is to make sure it doesn't stick. Make sure the water doesn't start flowing out of the pan. So you can leave it alone a bit more. As you can see, it's starting to heat up our vegetables, so break this out already. Start pouring it into the pan. There we go. Mix it up a little bit. It's going to be the seasoning to our pasta. And again, we got that on low. We got the water on medium. Continue to clean up the tails off that shrimp. All right, so now we're going to begin cooking that shrimp again. Go ahead and put that on between medium and low. Normally, I like using this. You could do butter and add your own garlic seasoning, or you can buy this stuff that's used for the garlic bread. There we go. Pour some of it in there. Give it that garlicky flavor. Now I wouldn't pour it into the Alfredo sauce because it already has this garlic and basil. You don't want to overkill that flavor. There we go. Now we wait. Make sure we're mixing the vegetables, mixing the pasta. At this point, we can turn off the Alfredo. Make sure we're mixing the fettuccine pasta. We don't want it to stick. You want to go ahead and get your tomatoes. Toss them in. Now these you only have to turn on the grill. It'll start cooking on its own with the heat of the pasta and the heat of the vegetables. Start mixing our shrimp a little bit, mixing it around. Sure we're flipping our steak and the slow cooking. Alright, so we're still waiting. We got about 4 minutes on that pasta. This is already off, but it's hot. Everything is hot. So make sure we're go our fettuccine right here. You can hear our steak cooking. Now for the sake of time, I'm gonna butterfly the steak. Now you have 2 steaks. And most likely the pasta will be ready before the steak, naturally. Now we gotta turn up the heat a little bit on the shrimp. Now we got on medium. You can hear my kids in the background. Tell they're hungry. flip that steak around. A dash of seasoning. See how much time we have left. 1 more minute. Alright, so that pasta's done already. Cut up the steak, some pieces. Shrimp looks golden brown. So now we're gonna turn off our pasta. So the next step is to strain it. Remember, it's going to be hot because mixed with oil. It's not just hot water. It has avocado oil in it. Just leave that in there. Here you can bring your spoon. So we're going to drain that water first. Still gonna have some water in it, so you get your spoon here, move it around, let it strain a little more. It's not, you don't want to be too soggy. Get some of that water out. See, still have some water in there. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put it back in the pan. Now it's up to you if you want to add more garlic seasoning to this. So let's just say you do. Here we go. Add some garlic seasoning. Next, we're gonna add our shrimp. Remember, we're still flipping our steak around, making sure it's cooking. In this case, we're making it well done, so come back here, continue with our fettuccine. And start pouring all of the sauce. Down here. Now you get your hook right here. Start mixing everything around. You want to get that sauce everywhere. This works very well for me. Now I know I'm still waiting for the steak, so I do want to keep it hot. So what I do, I'm gonna turn it back on, put it on low, back on here. We do this while the steak cooks. And while you're waiting, still be turning the fettuccine around. Get all the flavor in there. Just don't forget that it's still turned on. This should almost be done cooking, probably like another 4 minutes. So that steak's almost done. Personally, I like to soak the pans while I'm waiting. This way we have nothing out here. More convenient. Especially because all this stuff sticks to the pan. So as soon as you're done, just get some dish cleaner. Add the water. And save yourself some time when you gotta scrub those pans. All right, so now make sure that your pans are off. And we got our dinner.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that is it.
For the rest.